Hi, everybody. My name's Jon. I am a director of sales here at Influitive. I've been with the company for 5 years. I've been worked with many of our kind of mid-market and enterprise clients on their community and their advocacy and their engagement strategies. So I'm really excited to be presenting to you today and providing a Influitive demo. Following this session, do feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We have the Influitive booth as well, which we'll move over to if any direct questions don't get answered. But in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen and I am going to kick this off. Awesome. Well, to start off, what is Influitive? Well, we are a 12-year-old company who got its roots really in driving customer loyalty and customer advocacy. And we've grown to become one of the leaders in the community market as well, as these notions of advocacy and loyalty and community are all coming together. We believe at Influitive that your community is a channel to your customers. And therefore, you should have one program that can not only guide the customer journey and guide the customer experience, but be very prescriptive in targeting the content and targeting the actions that you want people to engage in. And so we see a lot of these trends of loyalty really becoming part of that community experience. Your community being a channel where you can nurture advocates and get them to join other customer actions or customer activities such as references or referrals or case studies or content or product feedback. And then of course, linking these notions of how customer marketing, customer success, and customer experience all engage with the customer. So in Influitive, we employ 4 key elements that really are what we find our value add. The first thing being this notion of targeting and personalization. Instead of a community where there's access to all the information out there in the world, we believe that a prescriptive and a targeted journey is what customers should have. And those actions and activities should be prescriptive as to where they are, who they are. Are they an admin? Are they an executive? Where they are on their customer journey. Are they a new customer? Are they an experienced champion that can be leveraged for more of those advocacy activities? We're also leaders in gamification and recognition and rewards. And so our gamification and recognition engine is one of the best in the business, in that we can provide that reciprocity to the customer experience and say thank you for all the different types of actions that they're doing within the community. Today, we work with customers across the B2B SaaS world in all different facets. A lot of our customers are in the security space and value that direct-to-customer and that prescriptive approach, as well as others like Viewpoint in the construction software space. And then, of course, we're starting to grow across the B2C space as well with clients like Mountain Dew building out some of their loyalty and engagement programs via the Influitive platform. Today, we are top recognized leaders across the software report, G2, Trust Radius, and none of the other some of the other third-party recognition platforms out there in the market. We believe that advocacy should be a big part of your customer community and your customer community experience. And we have a prescriptive model that, in terms of how we nurture and how we grow those users all the way up to those core advocates. And those army of advocates, that channel that your community provides, can then be leveraged to drive the pipeline, the awareness, the interest, the voice to the customer that is so critical in our customer experience and our customer programs today. When we think of how this provides value across the organization, it's very much cross-functional. From the left side being our go-to-market, supporting customer proof, customer marketing, leveraging those referrals, those sales references, and your community really being that channel for customer advocacy, but also for the engagement at scale, learning about your customers, understanding what makes them tick, building those relationships and capturing that feedback and those insights that are ever so valuable to all of the internal teams within your organization. So without further ado, I am going to dive into a product demo and give you a quick overview of the Influitive platform. What you see on your screen is an example of what Influitive can look like for you and for your customers. Influitive is a white labeled platform. This means that it's your look, your branding, your content. We are merely a provider in the back end. Going through the core elements of Influitive, we have a navigation tab here: home, challenges, referrals, rewards, onboarding, and knowledge base. This is our custom content, which I'll get into in a moment. Scrolling down, we have these tiles, and we refer to these tiles as challenges. That's our nomenclature. Some of our clients like to think of them as activities or actions or specific things that individuals should engage in. Our community element is very robust in our discussion forums, where we can do things like product ideas voting, talking about feature requests, voting product ideas up and down. We can embed videos and rich content into our forums and create an experience that's very much tailored to the individual coming into the program. Now, Influitive uses a targeting and personalization engine to guide the experience. This means that individual A versus individual B can see completely different content based on who they are. We can target that content based on things we learn about the individual through their interaction with the Influitive or with the community platform. And we can also target based on data points we might already know about the customer. So these can be things like product line, industry, title, or any other data points that we can sync from CRM. So I'm going to walk through a couple sample journeys based on these personas and show you how the content within Influitive can change and be dynamic for different personas and different individuals coming into your community. So up here at the top, we have a administrative tool called our Lenses, which was a recent feature release that we did. This allows us to log in as individual users and see the journeys that they see. So in this case, my name is Sally. I'm going to come in as a brand new customer into the Influitive community. Now, Sally, being a new customer, we're not going to want to show her all the content, the advocacy actions, the different things that she can get into. We want to enable her. We want to provide her with the content that's most prescriptive to who she is and where she is on that customer journey. So you can see that the content here is very much around connecting and collaborating, or maybe joining a mentorship program. So to start, I am going to click into this channel, which is all about getting started and learning about why I'm here and why I'm a part of this robust community. All of our challenges are customizable. And so as I get into this, the journeys that you create for your audience is fully customizable. And we bring a team to the table to help you map out these journeys and create the most valuable experience for your customers and for your stakeholders. In this case, Sally's going to learn a little bit why she's here. She's going to read about being a part of the community, what it's about, and she's going to earn points for completing different actions within the community. By completing certain actions, I can unlock new content. In this case, we want to get to know Sally a little bit better. We want to ask her, where did you hear about this program? How did you join? Again, earning points for those actions and completing those connections. As a new customer, maybe we want to guide Sally to our social networks and get her to participate in some of the other social actions that we might already have. We might want to ask her if she wants to share social content via the community directly across her LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter accounts. Now, Sally, as a new customer, might want some additional support for being a new customer of the program. So in this case, we want to guide her to our mentorship program. Sally wants to find a mentor, and she's going to say right here, what are the most interesting topics that you want to learn about? In this case, it's community management. And do we have any special requests? Yes, I'd like someone who's located on the West Coast in Pacific time zone. Again, finding her mentor, she's earning points, and we continue to guide that customer experience and that customer journey via Influitive. As a new customer, Sally might want to connect and collaborate. So maybe she wants to talk to her peers about a onboarding or how her experience is going. So we can prompt Sally to different discussion forums in different sections to post her questions and participate. In this case, Sally has a product question, and she's being directed to a product feedback or a product expert channel that might have some of your expert community members participating and engaging with Sally in the discussion forums. So that completes Sally's journey. So next, I'm going to come in as more of an experienced user or an experienced customer. Keenan, for example, has been with us for a couple of years. And Keenan is an experienced customer that we want to take on a very different journey. In this case, you'll notice that the targeting and segmentation has changed. And for Keenan, a lot of the content within Influitive is promoting some of the upcoming events we might have, product news, product updates. In this case, Keenan's going to jump into the product news and updates channel, where he's going to learn about those latest releases and that our new badges and levels have been revamped and are now more robust. We can bring Keenan into a product feedback discussion or a channel or into a knowledge base where they can learn more about the new feature release and ask questions with their peers. Keenan might also learn about new role management that we have, right? The ability to allow multiple admins to have different access permissions within the back end of Influitive for some people to maybe publish content or create content but not publish it. Our discussions are rich media that can be embedded, and we can continue to guide the customer experience and the customer journey via the Influitive platform. Going back to our mentorship use case, as Keenan is an experienced customer, instead of asking him if he wants a mentor for his program, we're going to ask Keenan to volunteer and be a part of the mentorship program. So with a click of a button, Keenan can raise his hand, he can volunteer, he can answer some questions about being a mentor. I'd like to mentor a customer in community membership. I'd like to mentor someone in healthcare. I'm looking forward to being a mentor and sharing my expertise. Now, one thing to note about Influitive is that any of these survey style challenges or actions that we push out to the customers, whenever they answer these data points, we can capture that data, and we can capture that data on the back end of Influitive, which we can store against their profile, but we can also push that data into Salesforce if we want to understand what customers are interested in and deliver that data to the functional teams that will find it most valuable. In this case, Keenan earns his points for being a mentor. And oh, look, there's a mentorship that's been requested. And Keenan can say, yes, I'm more than happy to be a part of that call and become a mentor for that customer. So for the next use case, I'm going to log out here as Keenan, and I'm going to come in as that core customer champion, that top advocate. So in this case, it's Lieta. And Lietta May is a known advocate to us with a high NPS score. It's someone who we want to really guide into some of those more advocacy style activities or actions. In this case, you can see that she has access to this Amplify channel. And this is where Lietta can then start to volunteer and become a part of those customer asks and those customer programs, immediately connecting the voice of your customer to marketing activities, sales activities, or any other product style or roadmap style engagement that you'd like to leverage the voice of your customer for. In this case, Lietta is going to happily volunteer for a case study. We can fill in some information about her business, what's her job title, how long has she been with this. And so the beautiful part now is that you have a channel within your community to source case studies, source testimonials, source referrals, source those G2 crowd reviews that are ever so valuable to your go-to-market teams. From an advocacy standpoint, we have the ability to share upon social media. We can ask individuals directly to say, hey, check out our latest journey, check out our latest release. And directly from Influitive, they can say, love what the company is doing, share across their social accounts without ever leaving the program. So I hope this has been a good example of how we can guide the customer journey and customer experience. Now, one thing about Influitive is I mentioned the advanced gamification and recognition engine. So within Influitive, as you've seen, the points have been accumulating as people engage with the platform. On their profile, they have the ability to earn different points, earn different rewards. Let me just view this lens. If you can jump into a profile. So here for Lietta can see all the different types of activity that she's done. She can see her progress within the community, advancing from maybe an insider to that coveted rock star level. So you can see the badges that she's earned. And she can also see the activity that she's completed and done within the program. So the different styles of badges that they've earned, how she's replied. Through API integrations, we can also record activity that's happening in other systems. So if I'm participating in an LMS or participating in another program and we want to recognize that action, we can award points or give perks based on those actions to individual community members. Now, one thing that's unique is in Influitive, we have an advanced rewards engine as well. This rewards engine has the same targeting and segmentation parameters as does our challenges or our forums or any other part of the Influitive environment. Rewards can essentially be anything, meaning they can be access to customer releases, golf with executives, experiences. Maybe you want to focus more on donations, and for all the community engagement, the company will make a $10 donation to the World Wildlife Foundation. We also have integrations with reward fulfillment providers, so the Sendoso, PFL, a few others, where we can integrate more of those tangible items like AirPods. And as I redeem the AirPods, the request will be sent to the fulfillment through an approval process, of course, for the administrator, and sent out to the advocate. Finally, you'll see at the top on our navigation tab, we have these two elements called onboarding and knowledge base. This is what we call our custom content pages. These pages can be targeted to individuals, again, based on who they are. Meaning if I'm part of that customer advisory board, maybe I see a section that's all about the upcoming meeting and the minutes that are coming. Or maybe I've registered for that key event and there's an event kit being presented to me within Influitive. Clicking into these tabs, this is where we have categories and subcategories for those customers. So in this case, an onboarding journey can guide more of that long form rich content that can show what it's all about, where I should go, things I should learn, and then continuing on to the next module within Influitive. The custom content can also be a knowledge base. a place where you store some of that critical information to your customers. So that completes my demo of the front end or experiential end, or I say user experience within the Influitive. But what I do want to show you is the back end and some of the more administrative elements of Influitive. So in Influitive, we have an advanced reporting and analytics platform. So we're tracking and measuring everything that's happening within the program. We're also syncing this data with your CRM. So if you do want to visualize any elements such as community engagement or ROI of advocacy to your executive teams or to your customer teams, we can do that directly within Salesforce as well. Within our reporting, we can look at different things. We have our standard out-of-the-box dashboards and reports where we can look at social influence, for example. How many social shares have we generated from the platform? How many clicks have been generated from that social activity? Who are our top social influencers? Right? What's nice is we can actually take data like this and target more social challenges to our top influencers, knowing that Tina here loves to say on social, and we can award her for that behavior and reinforce that behavior across different individuals, looking at the trends of their engagement and understanding how they like to and how they want to engage. We can create custom dashboards as well. So if you want to be able to visualize community engagement across different product lines, personas, all of that can be customized within Influitive. We also have this notion of ROI. And this is where we can tie a dollar value to different actions that are happening within Influitive. This means that someone answering a customer question and deflecting that support ticket, or someone raising their hand to give a testimonial or provide a case study. We can start to aggregate the total impact of that active advocacy, of that community engagement to the entire business and be able to present what is the ROI of my community? How is that being leveraged? And understand the total impact that your customer's having on not only your pipeline, but also your peer-to-peer connections. So with only a few minutes left, I would love to stop there and see if anyone has any other questions on Influitive. And I'm happy to spend the next couple of minutes answering any questions that the team might have. Tim, thanks for joining us. It's nice to see you here. Here we go. Can Influitive work inside my current community, or does it need to be, sorry, a little thing in the way here, does it need to be its own unique app URL? Genevieve, that is a fantastic question, and really thank you for asking that. The short of it is Influitive can support existing communities. Some of our clients do like to use Influitive for kind of that ambassador program or just that champion community where there's more of that peer-to-peer collaboration and discussion happening. What's nice is through the API connections and awarding points and badges, we can start to bring people or direct people to other forums or other elements where customers are communicating and customers are talking. And we can recognize that behavior that's happening in other customer programs, right? And so that doesn't need to be just limited to your community. This could be your LMS platform. This could be your event platform. And so we work with our customers on really building out those integrated experience so that we can award the gamification, the points and badges in more of a holistic customer ecosystem style and in a cross platform nature. That's a really great question, Genevieve. Thanks for asking that. Any other questions from the group? Can you share a working example of how Influitive can lead more questions asked in the community? For sure I can. So let me go back and share my screen. Let me jump back into here. So what's really great about the targeting and personalization that comes from the challenges is you have the ability to direct people into certain discussion forums or certain channels based on who they are, their interests, what they like. So one of the great things about merging this notion of challenges along with the forums is that you can directly engage with different community members and suggest where they should provide their expertise or where they should ask questions. So for example, let's say I'm an expert customer and you want to guide me into a discussion, or maybe there's a question that was asked in a forum that the administrator or so it's not being responded to in a timely manner. You can create a challenge, you can target it out to your known champions, and you could say, hey, Alex, since you're an expert in the healthcare space, do you mind going to that discussion? Do you mind going to that forum and answering this question or asking a question? And so what's nice here is that you can then award points for them engaging within the community forum and give them those badges and rewards for them being the experts via this flow. And so I like to think of it as almost like that, the maitre d' or the host at a party or a cocktail party, right? You can put 10 people in a room together. They may not mingle, but you can start to drive engagement through challenges and saying, hey, Jamie, you should meet Travis and you should talk in this community or in this forum. Or you should, since you have any questions, you have any, there's a key question you want to ask, you should go and ask it here in this forum or in this topic. And so Influitive becomes a bit of that engine, right? It becomes that engine to engagement where you start to prime the pump and more people start to get recognized and learn about what categories and channels they should be engaged in and start to connect with one another. So I hope that answers your question here. And let me just stop sharing so I can see the forum base. And Olga, thank you so much for sharing that. That's really awesome. How Influitive is boosting your community growth. It's something that we take pride in being able to drive engagement across other platforms and reward behavior for all members and all customers that you might have within your customer ecosystem. Awesome. Well, with 2 minutes left, I want to thank everybody for coming and attending this demo. Like I said, if there's any other questions that the team has, please feel free to direct message me via the chat or join us on the Influitive booth where we can answer any questions and continue this session. Thanks, everybody.